Isang masayang pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pag-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Classes sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayun din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9:00 ng umaga hanggang 7:00 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Welcome to your ETUlay online tutorial program. Tayo ay naglakbay sa nakaraang semester na puno ng pagkatuto at paglago. Join us again as we welcome the second semester of the academic year 2021-2022 dito sa inyong klaseng ETUlay. Here are your new fantastic tutors at your service.
ETUlay ang gabay sa pagkatuto. ETUlay edukasyon itatawid sa'yo. ETUlay paaralan di lalayo sa'yo. ETUlay sa makabagong panahon. ETUlay para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Huwag kayong mawawala. Ating patuloy na saliksikin ang hiwaga ng humanidades at agham panlipunan. Laging tandaan, ikaw ang best tuwing Webes.
Maling impormasyon, katotohanan nating ituro, paunlarin ang edukasyon. ETUlay ang gabay sa pagkatuto.
Mabuhay! Isang mapagpalang araw sa ating lahat. Ako ang inyong lingkod, Tutor Madge. Welcome sa ating ETUlay, ang ating libreng online tutorial na hatid ng ating kagawaran ng edukasyon, ICTS EdTech. Ang programang ito ay inaasahang makatutulong at maging kardagang kaalaman sa mga mag-aaral mula kinder hanggang senior high school, ALS, Alive, at SPED learners. Bukod sa pagsagot ng mga modules, ang ETUlay ay may mga special programs din na siguradong aabangan ninyo araw-araw. Katuwang ang ating mga minamahal na mga magulang at guro ay maitutuloy natin ang pagkatuto. Kaya, ihanda na ang inyong module, lapis, papel o kwaderno. Ihanda rin ang isip, mata at tenga sa isa na namang makabuluhang aralin. Tayo nang matuto kasama ang inyong volunteer online tutor sa oras na ito.
our Hume-Stastic cuties mula Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Welcome sa inyong DepEd ETUlay online tutorial program.
Ito ay handog sa inyo ng Department of Education sa pangunguna ng Educational Technology Unit.
Hayaan nyo kaming samahan kayo sa isa na namang makabuluhang pag-aaral sa hapong ito.
Kaya naman, humanda na at sumamang saliksikin ang hiwaga ng humanidades at aghampanlipunan.
Yehey!
Yay! Good afternoon po
Magandang
sa
hapon
ating
sa inyong
lahat.
lahat. Yes, Tutor Amor, to all of our cuties and to all of our fellow teachers, fellow educators, parents, and guardians, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Tutor A
Yes.
from FDO Nueva Ecija, ang inyong makakasama dito sa Community Engagement, Solidarity, and Citizenship.
At syempre, makakasama po ako ni Tutor A. Ako po si Tutor
Yes.
Amor from SDO Nueva Ecija. Ayan.
Yes naman. Alam ko, Tutor Amor, they are very much excited for this afternoon. Kaya naman sa lahat po ng mga kasama natin na nanonood sa hapong ito, binabati po namin kayo at maligaya pong pag-aaral sa ating lahat. Kaya naman din ganun din sa mga estudyante natin, sa mga tutis natin na nanonood ngayon, i-mention nyo na inyong mga kaibigan, ng inyong mga kakilala, ang inyong mga klase, di ba, Tutor Amor, upang samahan tayo sa hapong ito.
Tama, Tutor A. Sapagkat tutuloy natin silang bibigyan or itutulay natin ang mga dapat nating maitulay na dapat nilang matutunan sapagkat ito ay napakahalaga para sa kanilang akademikong pagkatuto. Ayan. At siyempre,
Yes, naman.
dahil ang ating subject ay about community engagement, solidarity, and citizenship, dito nila matututunan or meron man silang natutunan, dito nila makikita kung paano sila dapat na makisalamuha or makitungo
Yes.
or maging isang ehemplo ng kabataan na gumagawa ng paraan para makatulong sa ating community.
That's
Ayan.
true. Kaya naman for this week, nasa week 5 na tayo, Tutor Amor, Hume-Stastic Cuties, at pag-uusapan natin sa hapong ito ang community action modalities. But then, of course, lagi ninyong tandaan, Tutor Amor,
Lagi nyo kaming subaybayan, samahan nyo kaming
Yes.
saliksikin at samahan nyo kaming matuto sa Humanities and Social Sciences sa ating subject every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 4:40 p.m. Ayan.
yes. And of course, Tutor Amor, batiin natin si Mami Milagros Miranda at si Kim Roque na nanonood sa atin sa hapong ito. Hello po sa inyo!
Hello po
Okay.
sa inyo.
So, Tutor
Ayan.
Amor, mula sa mga nakasama nating cuties noong nakaraang linggo ay namili tayo ng ating Cutie of the Week na talaga namang very active sa pagsagot at sa participate sa ating discussion. Kaya naman pwede ba, Tutor Amor, na ipakilala mo sa kanila ang ating Cutie of the Week?
Ayan! So, congratulations to the Cutie of the Week, none other than Miss Giselle Eileen D. Mamaklay. And Eileen is a student of Ma'am Rona May Santos and her section is 12 UMS Rona May. Of course, she is from Bartolome Sangalang National High School. Ayan, congratulations, Miss Giselle Eileen
Congratulations!
Mamaklay.
Talaga
Ayan.
namang ang tatak Bartolome Sangalang National High School, tatak ng husay kung saan nagtuturo itong si Tutor Amor. Congratulations sa'yo. Magkapangalan pa kami, magkaiba lang kami ng spelling. Giselle
Yes.
Eileen D. Maklay. And we hope, Tutor Amor, na makasama pa natin siya at ang kanya pang mga kaklase sa mga susunod na linggo. And
Correct,
with that,
Tutor A.
Tutor Amor, to begin our discussion for or our lesson for this afternoon, magkaroon muna tayo ng review na kung saan nakaraang linggo ay pinag-usapan natin ang ating Module 4 na may title na Typologies in the Community. And let's try to assess if they are able to recall the concepts or the theories that we discussed last week sa pamamagitan ng isang review sa hapon ito. And with that, Tutor Amor, basahin natin ng mabilisan ng ating directions. Write T if the statement is true and write F if it is false. Write your answer on the comment section. Tutor Amor, ano bang
Correct.
ating first item?
Okay, the first item is that Gemeinschaft or associational society refers to human associations that are characterized by being intimate, informal, caring, homogeneous, and group welfare oriented. Ayan, so the direction is it true or false? Ang item kaya na ito ay
Nako,
true
ano
o
bang
kaya
tamang
false?
sagot? True ba
Tutor.
ito or false ba? Nako, Tutor Amor, naalala ko to talagang malinaw natin to na ipaliwanag or
Tama.
na-discuss nung nakaraang.
Okay,
Tama
so
ba ako?
tignan
Well,
natin.
tingnan natin. So, I think the correct answer, I believe, therefore, it's false.
False.
Dahil
Kasi,
hindi siya Gemeinschaft. It's Gesellschaft pala, no?
yes.
Okay. So, let's begin. Let's have item number 2. Urban, rural, and suburban are typologies based on geographic boundaries. What do you think
Mm.
is the correct answer? Is it true or false? Right?
Aha.
Write the letter T if it's true and write letter F if it is false. Okay,
False.
what do you think is
Ayan.
the correct
Sa palagay
answer?
ko, makukuha
Naku,
nila lahat ng mga itatanong natin ngayon sa ating
oo.
activity, Ma'am Shi. Kasi ay tutor A. Kasi napakadali talaga niyang intindihin, lalo pat ito ay
Mm-mm.
na-discuss naman natin ng maayos last session. Okay,
At
so,
eto nga 'no,
opo.
nahuli yata yung sagot ni Tutor Edson sa
Opo.
item number 1. Kasama rin natin
Tama.
si Tutor Edson. Yes, you're correct, Tutor Edson. The correct answer is false in item number 1. Pero sa item number 2, let's reveal the answer. It is true. Yes,
True.
ito yung
Yes.
typology of
Yes.
community based on geographic boundaries na pinag-usapan natin last week. What about item number 3, Tutor Amor?
Okay, so for item number 3, it is a social space, or a social space is either a geographical or virtual community where people gather or network with one another due to common interests. So ang dami
Yes.
nating ano kaya ang sagot dito, Tutor A? Ito kaya ay false? Ito kaya ay true? Ang daming sumasagot at isa
Alright.
dito ay ang ating palaging bisita, Tutor A, si Enrico Dalupan. Ayan, hello, Enrico
Wow!
Dalupan. Ayan.
Hello, Enrico. So with that, Tutor Amor, let's reveal the answer. The correct answer is, it is true.
T,
Yes.
it's
And yung last part ng
true.
ating discussion, the social pace, which could either be geographical or in virtual community. So ngayon talaga namang
Mhm.
we have been gathered virtually kasi sa pandemic, ano, and this is what we
Tama.
call social space, na kung saan we are able to interact with one another through the use of our technology and the internet connection. Nako,
Correct.
naniniwala ako na na-recall ng ating mga estudyante o ating mga tutis ang mga pinag-usapan natin noong nakaraang linggo. Kaya naman pagbati sa lahat ng mga nakakuha ng tamang
Tamang
sagot.
sagot.
Now, Tutor Amor?
Okay, so to continue on our discussion, let's have our objectives. At the end of this episode, the tutees should be able to, number 1, define community action and community engagement. Second, identify opportunities to contribute to community development through solidarity. And
Yes.
recognize the value of undertaking community action modalities. Those are the objectives of our session for today.
And with that, gusto muna namin i-acknowledge upang pasalamatan ang DepEd Bataan for allowing us to use their module for this episode. Maraming pong salamat sa inyong
you.
patuloy na pagsuporta at pagmamahal sa ating DepEd ETUlay. And with that, let's talk about the lesson 12 para sa ating community engagement, solidarity, and citizenship na may titulong Community Action Modalities. And then, of course, Tutor Amor, it's very important to establish the background of our topic for today through an activity. So meron naman tayong isang simple na pre-activity na ipapagawa sa ating mga cuties. And allow me to read the directions. Think and make at least 2 taglines about a project that you can do to help improve the sector of our government. Write the answer on your notebook or pwede rin naman i-share nyo sa amin dito sa online or virtual space natin kung meron na kayong mga ideas. So, ang iisipin lang nila, Tutor
Ayan.
Amor, taglines about a project that they believe they could help the sector of our government or could improve the sector of our government. At pinag-usapan natin ang iba't ibang sektor ng ating gobyerno noong mga nakakaraang linggo. Tama ba
Tama,
ako?
ayan,
So,
tama.
yes, Tutor
Ayan.
Amor. Andito ang isang example at particular, ito ay para sa edukasyon ng ating mga kabataan, particular sa mga kabataang manlalaro. Ito ay isang
Mm-mm.
example ng tagline na pwede nilang pagbasihan for them to be able to do this activity. At ang sabi dito, Tutor Amor, kabataang manlalaro, isulong ang husay tungo sa tagumpay. Nako, Tutor Amor, di ba
Naku.
marami tayong mga kabataan na talaga namang they are really into sports. Talagang
Tama.
napaghuhusay, napagyayabong nila ang kanilang mga sarili sa pamamagitan ng iba't ibang laro na meron dito sa ating bansa. At particular dyan, Tutor Amor, napakahilig nila sa paglalaro ng basketball. Ikaw ba, Tutor Amor, meron ka bang kilalang mga kabataan or sa school ninyo na mga estudyante na they are really into sports?
Yes, Tutor A, marami. Karaniwan
Correct.
dito, ang lagi-lagi nilang nilalaro or they are inclined into playing basketball kasi sobrang malaki
Mm.
yung gymnasium namin, malaki yung court ng
Wow.
basketball. And at the same time, opo, pwedeng pagsabayin yung laro ng basketball at saka yung badminton. So, dito nga, hindi
Mm-mm.
lamang estudyante yung nag-excel sa badminton namin, kundi pati rin ang ating mga co-teachers dito ay nagcha-champion sa iba't ibang level ng palaro. Ayan. So dito nga nakaklara sila, minsan ay nadadala pa doon sa
Wow.
pambansang palaro. Ayan, lagi.
O, di ba?
Basketball
So,
and yung badminton. Ayan.
So, 'di ba napakagandang avenue
Yes.
or initiative na magkaroon talaga tayo ng mga programa na siyang susuporta sa pagpapatibay at pagpapalawak at paghubog ng kakayahan ng ating mga kabataan, lalo tigit sa lahat sa paglalaro dahil ito ay maraming mga magagandang bagay na naidudulot sa kanila sa
Tama.
holistically, 'di ba? Yung
Yes.
sportsmanship, okay, 'di ba? And of course, yung kanilang knowledge and skill when it comes to playing a certain sports. Kaya
Tama.
naman, tingnan natin,
Yes.
Tutor Amor, sana magawa ito ng ating mga cuties dahil mas malilinawan sila sa lahat ng mga bagay na ating pag-uusapan as we start with our discussion for today.
Okay, so to start our discussion, community
Yes,
action is a form of community engagement and solidarity, which is essential for you to learn and to develop the social responsibility that can be a form of civic engagement. And I think,
that's
Tutor A,
correct.
you can do the explanation of this. Alam ko na excited ka nang
Yes.
i-open ang ating
Oo.
discussion.
So, we have been explaining the concept, community action, since week 1. Tama ba ako, Tutor Amor? And I believe you
Yes,
are
Tutor
already
A.
familiar with community action. But then as a review, when we see community action, we refer to activities that increase the understanding, that also increase the engagement and empowerment of communities in delivering local services. So ito yung mga activities and programs that would help the community or the general community to improve the well-being of one another. Lalo tigit sa lahat, ang social welfare nila, economic, so, and all in all. And bilang mga kabataan, our Humastastic duties, sabi dito, it's really essential for you to learn and to develop this what we call social responsibility. Dahil bilang mga kabataan, we are living in a community not just for ourselves. We are not living not just for our sole interest, but we are living in a community to work hand in hand with the people living in here. Kaya namang kailangan nating makiisa. Andiyan yung tinatawag natin na community engagement, makibahagi, and solidarity, makiisa sa lahat ng mga activities and programs na meron ang ating komunidad. Dahil ito ay ating responsibilidad, ito ay ating accountability to seek after the welfare
Correct.
of the community. And with that, we are able to develop in us ditong tinatawag natin na civic engagement. We are able to connect with other people, to interact with the different members of our community, hindi lang sa mga tao kundi andyan din ang kalikasan sa ating
Tama.
komunidad, ang pananatili ng kapayapaan, ang pananatili ng kaayusan at harmonious relationship sa isa't isa. And with that, kung meron tayong sense of social responsibility, meron tayong sense of community engagement and solidarity, we are able to fulfill the roles na meron tayo para sa ating komunidad.
Correct. That's very true, Tutor A. And to continue our discussion, tama ka, Tutor A, na doon sa ating pagiging community engaged or civic engaged, natututo tayo or na we are learning in different ways. Natututo tayong tumulong, hindi lamang sa ating kapwa, kundi pati na rin sa ating ginagalawang lipunan or ginagalawang kapaligiran. Okay, so let's proceed in the continuation of our topic, community engagement. It is to learn social responsibility and also to develop your penchant for civic engagement. So, although Tutor A, it's innate or nature na sa ating mga tao or sa ating mga Filipino talaga yung pagiging matulungin, but in learning this term community engagement or this idea of community engagement, nadadagdagan yung pagkahilig natin or yung penchant or our likeness or our desire to have engage or to engage in our community or to form civic engagement. Ayan. It is also to learn that you have the abilities in bringing positive changes in communities. Very nice idea. Because whenever you are conducting community engagement or whenever na nagkakandak ka ng pakikisalamuha or pagtulong sa kapwa, ang nangyayari is that you are giving positive change into your community sa mga taong natutulungan natin, sa kalikasan na nadidevelop natin or sa community na nabibigyan natin ng idea kung paano sila makasurvive or kung paano sila matulungan. And with that, community engagement of course is a very good idea on us or for us para matuto tayong tumulong at i-develop ang community nating ginagalawan and likewise sa kapaligiran natin or sa ating environment. Ayan, Tutor A.
Yes, that's true.
And in a school setting, it can take the form of, number one, service learning. Second one is community outreach. Or it can be called also as community engaged research. Ayan. So, in this particular community engagement in school, lagi kong nare-remember, Tutor A, yung ating isang programa sa college, which is the National Service Training Program.
Yes, that's
Or yung
true.
ating NSTP. Kasi nga, if we can still remember, Tutor A, medyo naging ano din pala tayo doon sa NSTP. Ayan. Naging kasama din tayo sa NSTP. In which,
Yes,
dito sa NSTP, tatlo kasi ang pwede nilang pamilian. It's about CWTS, about ROTC, and about the LES, or the Law Enforcement Service. Ayan. So ito ay isang batas na ipinanukala sa atin para ma-include sa curriculum ng tertiary education. And I think in service learning, pwede nating masabi na ito ay kinukumpleto doon sa subject or sa programang NSTP. And with that, students learn different methodologies na pwede nilang i-employ sa pagkakandak nila ng community service. And of course, hindi lang sa community pagkakandak ng community service, nagsaserve din siya as a reflection para sa'yo doon sa serbisyo or sa engagement na ginawa mo sa community. Sapagkat dirituties, tayo, bukod sa responsibilidad natin, sabihin na natin na responsibilidad natin ng ating sarili, meron din tayong mga kanya-kanyang responsibilidad na dapat gawin sa ating society. At yun yung ating
Yes.
tinatawag na social responsibility.
That's
Right.
correct. Nako, alam ko nasa kasagsagan tayo ng ating discussion and time check. We are already it is already 4:21 in the afternoon. Ang bilis ng
Wow.
oras, Tutor, no? Parang kanina lang tayo
Opo,
nagsisimula.
kanina lang
Pero
eh. Ang
sabihin natin,
bilis.
itong mga estudyante na bumabati sa atin or nanonood sa atin, andyan sila Trixie May, andyan sila Marian Claire na pares, taga Bartolome Sanggalang.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Invite your classmates para
Yes.
makasabay sila sa ating discussion sa
Correct.
hapong ito. And next, Tutor Amor, sa service learning ay yung tinatawag natin na community outreach. We are already familiar with this dahil
Yes.
ginagawa niyo ito sa
Oo.
eskwelahan ninyo or pwede rin naman sa inyong personal na initiative sa inyong community or pwede rin naman sa mga simbahan na inyong kinabibilangan.
Tama.
So technically, it is a service done voluntarily by the students, faculty, and other school employees addressing the social, economic, and political needs of communities. So you have been doing this as students. You have been realized your this sense of accountability when it comes to serving and reaching out the community. So pwedeng ang kasama nyo dyan ay ang inyong Supreme Student Government Council, pwede rin naman ang inyong mga teachers or advisors in a particular subject area, or maaari namang you might be serving as the president or class president at gusto mong proyekto na magkaroon ng community outreach. At dito, mas papaabot natin yung ating malasakit sa komunidad na ating kinabibilangan. Lalo digit sa lahat, kung meron kayong special community na gustong i-reach out sa inyong bayan na nakikita nyo na nangangailangan talaga ng tulong, na maaaring ito ay ang intensive na tutorial, di ba? Or peer mentoring sa mga batang andoon or kaya sa mga kaedad nyo na kapwa nyo kabataan na out of school youth, or pwede rin naman meron kayong mga dalang goods na gusto nyo ipamigay para sa kanila na nakita nyo nangangailangan sila ng mga basic needs, at ito ay nakakapag-uplift ng kanilang moral, and most especially mas naipaparamdam natin yung impact natin at mas nakikita natin yung sense ng ating existence kapag ginagawa natin ito. At ang masarap doon, Tutor Amor, hindi lang ikaw, kundi magkakasama kayo na inyong mga klase, ng mga kaibigan na gumagawa ng magagandang initiative na ito. At panghuli, Tutor Amor, among those three ay yung tinatawag natin na community-engaged research. Na I believe our tutis also are already familiar with this kasi they have been conducting different research din na may kinalaman talaga sa community. Lalo tigit sa lahat, no, yung mga grade 12 students natin na under ng mga practical research na talaga are already in conducting the research that they have. And of course, primarily, ito ay may kinalaman sa ating community. So we call that community engaged research na nagsasabing it is a collaborative process made by the faculty, student researchers, and the partner community to conduct research that will respond to community issues and concerns. So pwede nyo rin itong gawin, pwede nyo rin itong pangunahan dahil sa totoong buhay, marami naman talagang mga usapin na dapat ma-address sa ating komunidad, na dapat magkaroon ng kasagutan, at most especially dapat magkaroon ng solusyon. So sa pamamagitan ng mga kabataan katulad nyo na mayroong sobrang lawak na curiosity, di ba? And more than curiosity is that what we call malasakit at pagmamahal sa komunidad na kanilang kinabibilangan. It is such a great opportunity to conduct research that later on would benefit the welfare of our general community. So with that, Tutor Amor, I believe they are already made connection sa service learning community outreach and community engaged research na ating pinag-usapan sa hapong ito. But then, sabi dito, Tutor Amor, no, there are different appropriate levels of community engagement. So meron pala itong kanya-kanyang level at ito
Levels.
daw depende doon sa issue na nag-emerge or sa issue na ina-address dun sa community. Nako, Tutor Amor, maraming mga iba't ibang issues na meron sa ating sa ating
Mm-mm.
komunidad. Andiyan yung kagutuman, tama ba ako? Or
Tama,
kaya
tama.
naman kawalan ng trabaho para sa mga mamamayan, 'di ba? Or kaya naman ang kakulangan ng patubig sa mga magsasaka. Ano pa,
Tama.
Tutor Amor, yung mga iba-ibang issue na meron sa ating komunidad?
Sa ating komunidad, since we are in, tayo ay agricultural
Mhm.
country, sa aming komunidad or sa atin, maari din sa inyong komunidad, yung mga problema natin sa pagtaas ng mga bilihin patungkol sa
Yes.
Yes, patungkol sa gasolina, yan, sa
Yes,
diesel.
which is very timely.
Nung isang linggo lang, it's 62. Ngayon, 80 pesos.
Mm.
Hamakin mo yon. Paano mabubuhay or paano makakabawi ang mga magsasaka? At nagre-reflect yan, of course, kapag tumataas yung diesel na gamit or pangunahing gamit sa ating bukid or sa ating agrikultura na sektor, tumataas din yung gastos nila. Yan.
Okay.
Yon. Tapos
So now,
mura pa yung palay na mura pa ngayon sa ngayon
oo.
yung pagbili ng palay. Ayan.
That's
Nakakaawa
true,
nga po
Tutor
yung ating
Amor.
mga
So, sobrang
magsasaka.
daming issue, but then the thing is, how can we make engagement in our community? There are different appropriate levels now. And let's
Mm-mm.
begin with a one-way relationship. Tutor
Ayan.
Amor?
Okay, so our first appropriate level of community engagement is one-way relationship. So I think this is somehow you are disseminating or informing the community, informing the society about the uh, engagement that you wanted to do in their specific community. Or it can be done through the use of, siguro sa atin, yung karaniwan nating ginagawa ay yung pagbibigay ng pamphlet or yung pagbibigay ng
Mhm.
pagdidikit ng poster, mga local media such as yung nga sa ngayon mas mapapabilis nating ipaabot sa kanila yung kanilang
Correct.
yung kagustuhan na makapag-engage sa kanila sa pamamagitan ng Facebook, i-post mo
Correct.
lang siya doon sa ating Facebook
Page,
page. O
official
yan,
page, yes.
pwede na nilang makita or mabasa. Dahil karaniwan naman ngayon, marami ng marites, makita lang ng isa, ayan, kakalat
Mm-mm.
na yung ating intensyon na makipag-engage sa ating
Yes.
community. Ayan. Okay, so
All right.
one-way relationship is somehow information dissemination in part of the person or a group na magkakandak ng community engagement. Ayan. So, what's
Correct.
next, Twitter A?
The second one, Tutor Amor, is this what we call consultation. Okay, it involves obtaining stakeholder approval for an initiative wherein the purpose of interaction is to get feedback on policies, programs, or services that affect the general community directly or in which they may have a significant interest. So kung one way relationship, we are just involved, isang direkta lang from us to them, di ba? From the
Yes.
what to call this, from the government or from the service seekers to the general community. Ngayon yung
Mhm.
consultation, meron ng interaction between the government or the service seekers to the recipient or yung general community. At paano to ginagawa? It involves obtaining stakeholder approval for an initiative. So, humihingi muna tayo ng approval doon sa community if they would allow, no, itong certain na community action na gusto nating gawin. Okay? And then, of course, ang purpose nun ay makakuha tayo ng feedback from them about doon sa
Yes.
policies, programs, or services na gusto nating i-serve sa ating sa ating community. And with that, makikita natin na mayroong exchanging of thoughts, exchanging of ideas na I believe mas makakatulong para mas ma-improve mo pa itong certain program o certain policy na gusto mong i-implement or i-execute sa community. So for example, ang gusto natin ay maturuan ang mga bata sa isang komunidad ng hand washing or yung proper na hand washing, no? So it's very important for us to seek the approval of the parents at ganun din naman yung approval ng barangay kung papayagan nila tayo na i-implement or i-execute itong programa na ito na napakasimple bagamat merong impact sa kanila. Lalo tigit sa lahat sa mga bata na lagi naglalaro, na kailangan mong panatiling
Tama.
malinis ang kanilang mga kamay bago kumain. Tama ba ako, Tutor Amor?
Tama,
So we call
tama, Tutor A.
Oo. We call that as consultation. What about the third one, Tutor Amor?
Yeah, so, and kung sa consultation, Tutor A, ito yung tinatawag nating project design. Sa involvement naman, Tutor A, dito natin gagawin yung tinatawag nating i-engage natin in what we call planning, ayan, para i-visualize yung service na gagawin natin sa community. So in involvement, we are engaging the community or the stakeholders sa pagpaplano or sa pag-visualize ng mga service na gusto nating gawin or outreach project na gusto nating gawin sa isang community. Ayan. So we can call it as planning together. Innovation or involvement is planning together.
That's true, Tutor Amor. And then the last level is this what we call the active participation. So in here, you will be directly involved and engaged sa lahat ng mga bagay na mangyayari, no? Na gusto niyo i-implement sa community niyo. So from the very first step, no, from the day one, sabi nga nila, you have to become engaged, involved in every single detail na may kinalaman doon sa pagpaplano, pag-execute, overall assessment, and of course, even the evaluation of its effectiveness.
Correct.
At pinakamahalagang bagay na umabot tayo sa level na ganito that we are actively
Tama.
participating, we are actively involved, we are actively engaged sa community actions na meron tayo. And with that, mas makikita natin yung pangangailangan ng community. Dahil we believe, Tutor Amor, na the more you get engaged, the more you get aware. Tama ba tayo?
Yes, and
Mas nag-e-engage
understand.
tayo,
Ayan.
mas nagiging aware tayo doon sa pangangailangan ng komunidad. Mas nagiging aware tayo doon sa problema na meron ito at sang solusyon na kailangan nating hanapin para sa mga problemang ito. And we believe by having active participation, we are able to have this sense of having the purpose no ng existence natin. At ang
Tama,
pinakamahalaga doon na ipaglilingkod natin yung ating mga kakayahan at ang ating mga sarili sa komunidad na ating kinabibilangan.
Parang nagkakaroon tayo ng fulfillment and reaching self-actualization. Tama ba ako, Tutor A?
The term self-actualization. You're able to see your purpose by living it out para sa iyong komunidad. And of course, Tutor Amor, we are done with those different appropriate levels of community engagement. Ngayon, pag-usapan na natin itong ating different modalities in community engagement. And the first one, Tutor Amor,
and the first one in the modalities is, of course, the transactional modality. So it's a one-way community project or activity from the service providers to the community. So parang pinakasimpleng pagpapaliwanag dito, Tutor A, is you are giving back, such as you are giving sponsorship or giving donations na nagsaserve as community investment. Ayan. Kapag naman kasi tayo nagkakandak ng community engagement, Tutor A, is that magbibigay muna tayo bago natin makuha yung kanilang tiwala or yung kanilang, yung same ba na gusto natin gawin sa community ay maramdaman din nila. And how to do that? The first one is the first modality is, of course, you have to give first. Ayan. Just to provide something na pwedeng maging investment natin para tayo ay samahan doon sa community
Yes.
project na gagawin natin sa kanilang community.
That's
Ayan.
true. And time check, Tutor Amor, it's already 4:35. Dako, napakabilis ng oras. Kaya punta na tayo sa susunod na modality. And we call that as transitional modality. It is
Yes.
a two-way community projects done through the process of consultation and collaboration between the service provider and the community. So, we are communicating our concerns with one another, katulad ng binanggit natin kanina sa consultation, merong pag-uusap, merong collaboration, merong communication. And with that, we are able to realize kung ano pa ba yung mas igagaganda, no?
Tama.
Nitong project na meron tayo at ano pa ba yung mas makabubuti para sa community. Kasi we believe kung sino man yung mas nakakaalam nun, of course, they are the leaders, the key officials in the community that we want to receive or be our recipient. So with that, merong two-way community projects, merong consultation and collaboration between the service provider and the community. And we call that
Ayan. So, I think I need to continue. Baka maaari nawalan lang si Tutor A.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. And the third modality of community engagement is transformational modality. Okay. So in this one, it's also a two-way community project na ina-accomplish between the provider and the community itself. It's an active dialogue and critical reflectivity facilitated by the process of involvement and active participation of external agents and the community. So in transformational modality, from the word transforming, ayan, in this modality, we are generating innovative solutions doon sa problem na na-meet natin doon sa community. Ayan, parang kung in layman's term, we are changing the society or changing the community because of the help that we are extending to them. Ayan. So it's somehow gaya ng sinabi mo kanina, Tutor A, doon is it involves doon sa dialogue at sa dialogue ay nandun yung evaluation kung ano yung magandang gawin doon sa community, and upon
Yes.
doing the thing na pwedeng makatulong sa kanila ay nandun pa rin yung tinatawag nating reflection. Nakatulong ba ito sa community? Nabago ba natin ang community? Nagkaroon ba ng tinatawag na innovative solutions doon sa problem ng community? Ayan. And
Alright. Okay ba ako, Tutor Amor? Nawala ba ako kanina?
yes, Tutor A, kaya pumasok na lang ako bigla. Pero that's okay. Alam ko na nakuha yan ng ating mga tuties, lalong-lalo pat sila ay very active. Andyan
Oo, nako, medyo
oo.
kinabahan naman ako doon, ano?
Okay.
Pero let's continue. So, community engagement and solidarity are forms of community action that can be undertaken to collectively address social problems and bring out social change, and that is correct. The forms of community action are this what we call community engagement and solidarity, and with the help of being involved, pakikibahagi at solidarity, pakikiisa, ay mas napagtatagumpayan natin ang implementasyon at ang katagumpayan ng community action na gusto nating maranasan sa ating mga community. And with that, we are able to discover and at the same time address yung mga iba't ibang social problems, and with that we are able to achieve social change para sa ating mga kababayan.
Correct. Correct, Tutor A. And these forms of community action also reinforce citizenship in the process, as citizens are given the opportunity to gain social-civic consciousness and participate politically in community and national affairs. So, yan. So, dito nga natin nadidevelop in our community action, nare-reinforce o napapatibay, lalong napapatibay ang ating pagiging makabayan. Ayan.
Yes.
Nafe-feel natin yung tayo ay parte ng ating lipunan. And
Mm-mm.
as a citizen, nabibigyan tayo ng opportunity para maging conscious sa kung ano yung nangyayari sa ating lipunan, sa ating community, and to be able also to participate in our community political and even going up in national political local and in national affairs or in national
That's correct.
state. Ayan. And with that, I think uh,
Meron pang
community
isa, Tutor
engagement,
Amor?
community excited, community
Yes. So,
engagement.
yes, community engagement and solidarity work can throw the line of demographic, cultural, political, and economic interventions. And that is very true. We become boundless, we become limitless, we become relentless, at ang lahat ng mga bagay na yan ay nare-realize natin at nakikita natin when we are personally and intentionally engaged in our community actions. And with that, Tutor
Correct,
Amor, we are
Italy.
done with our lesson for this afternoon. It's all about community action modalities. And for our assessment, Tutor Amor, please read our directions.
Okay, from the tagline that you did, I hope you did in the
Mm-mm.
first activity, make a project title using the following guidelines. And to do your work, make your answer in a short bond paper. Ayan.
Yes,
So,
so
galing
medyo,
doon sa tagline na ginawa
mm-mm,
nila kanina Tutor A, ang
that's good.
ngayon, gagawa sila ng project title na isusulat nila sa bond paper. Ano ba
Yes,
yung
at meron
ibang
tayo ditong guideline, Tutor Amor. Ibigay natin sa kanila ang example. So this would be the format, and I believe ando na yun mismo sa kanilang module. We will just
correct?
further discuss that. But then please refer to your module for you to be able to accomplish this task. So you will begin with thinking of your project title. So kanina pinag-isip namin kayo ng inyong mga tagline. That would be the springboard ng inyong project title. And for letter B, you may discuss to us the nature of the project. What is it all about? Okay? So you just have to write a brief description about the nature of the project that you thought of. And then letter C, the target community or institution. So you have to become more specific. If it's a barangay, okay, or if it's young people, ito ba ay pang matatanda, pwede rin ba ito ay pang kababaihan, or pwede rin naman ito for livelihood. So you have to become specific when we say about the target community that you want to be the recipients of this project, Tutor Amor. And then the last one, you may give us the background about dito sa inyong project title, ano? Okay, so pwedeng
Tama.
magbigay kayo, it could be your personal story, personal experience. That's why meron kang ganitong initiative, meron kang ganitong drive for you to implement and to do or execute the project that you want para sa isang community. So laging tandaan yung project title, nature of the project, target community or institution, and then the background. At ang kasunod pa, Tutor Amor, meron tayong EFGH. Tutor Amor, please.
Okay. So, next is of course pwede nilang, syempre part ng kanilang gagawin ay yung paglalagay ng general objective. So,
Yes.
here is the example, the general objective. Pwedeng, uh, ang general objective ay yung goal, tama po ba, Tutor A? And while the
What they
specific
want to achieve.
objectives, yes, what they want to
In
achieve.
general point of view.
Yes, the general. And specific objectives, these are the thing na gusto nilang gawin, step by step or one by one, i-achieve ng isa-isa para ma-achieve yung kanilang general objectives. Okay?
Correct.
And do not forget also to include the time, date, and venue ng
Yes.
inyong ginawa. Ayan. At kung meron pa kayong budget, ilagay na rin natin in letter H yung budget proposal
Why
at saka
not?
yung saan nang gagaling ang fund ninyo or gamit ninyong makinarya. Ayan. Gamit ninyong pera para sa pagkakandak nito. Ayan.
Yes. So, once you accomplish this task, nako, nakaka-proud naman. And possible na magkaroon sana kayo pa ng drive para ma-implement nyo ito at maging totoo ito totoo ito, ito in the near future, ma-implement ko ito
Tama.
at kapag pinayagan na tayo ng panahon ay makahanap tayo ng community that will serve as the recipients or the beneficiaries of the project that you have in your mind and of course in your heart. And I think,
Yes.
Tutor Amor, we are already done for this afternoon. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga cuties, mga guro na sumama sa atin sa hapong ito. And then of course, Tutor Amor, nagpapasalamat din tayo kay Cap or kay Tutor Erza sa pagdidirect sa atin sa hapong ito.
Thank you, Direct.
salamat,
Thank you.
Tutor Amor.
Okay. Kaya naman, pero salamat sa isang napakagandang araw ng discussion. Pero patuloy nyo kaming susubaybayan sa Humanities and Social Sciences and that is every Thursday kasama ang aming iba't ibang batikan at magaganda at gwapo na mga tutor.
That's
Yan.
true. And of course, lagi nyo kaming samahan mula alas 4 hanggang alas 4:40 ng hapon dito sa Community Engagement, Solidarity and Citizenship. I am Tutor A na lagi nagpapaalala, ang kabataang makabayan ay dangal ng kanyang sambahayan.
Ayan. At ito ang inyong Tutor Amor na laging nagsasabing walang mahirap sa bata na nangangarap at nagsisikap. Ayan.
Yes naman. Maraming salamat sa inyo. If you have comments, suggestions, you may email us at edtech@deped.gov. And Tutor Amor, up next, sino sila?
Up next ay ang ating magaganda at vivong-vivong mga tutors, si Tutor G and Tutor Reo sa kanilang subject na Discipline and Ideas in Applied Social Sciences.
Yes naman. Maraming salamat once again. Ikaw ang best tuwing Webes. Paalam at magkita-kita tayo sa susunod na linggo.
See ya!
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag #ETUlayLevelUp. Huwag aalis ha dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!